Hello, everyone. My name is Sia. I should have introduced myself earlier, but I am the organizer for Eleventy Meetup and as well as some other things. I'm a performance engineer and web developer, and I'm going to talk to y'all about how I built this website in Eleventy. This is Shopify Theme Vitals. So what it does is it takes real world performance data for Shopify themes, which are essentially like buckets of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript with actually Liquid to render stuff from the Shopify API directly. And merchants use these themes to apply them to their websites. And what I'm showing here is from the Chrome User Experience Report, which I'll talk to you more about that in a little bit, but it's real world web performance data. So if you've heard of the Core Web Vitals, I show passing rate for all Core Web Vitals. And then I split the three Core Web Vitals out, LCP, CLS, and IMP. And then if you go into a particular theme, so let's go into this one because it's not as great. You can actually get even more detailed data. So I have a chart showing like the number of websites because it changes in the data set, all core web vitals. And then I actually include a few more metrics like time to first byte, first contentful paint. Um, oh, look at that. I have a typo. That should be LCP. I love it when I notice things while I'm presenting. This has been up for months too. I'm like writing that down. And then the other two vitals metrics. Make a pull request quick. And then I also have like an aggregations page, right? So looking across all of these different themes, what was the lowest performing passing all core vitals, what was the highest, and then what was like the median for a theme. Just in case people want to compare themselves. And I don't know if you noticed, for all of this, you can split between mobile and desktop. And this is because in web performance data, a lot of times your data is going to be significantly different between mobile and desktop. You can see even on this top line how Alchemy is like not good on desktop and it is on mobile. I'm going to guess that's CLS actually. Let's see. Their CLS is excellent on mobile. Yeah, on desktop it's not. There's some things you start learning if you do a lot of web performance. But anyway, so I wanted to show you how I create this. And if you haven't noticed by now, I don't have slides. I'm just gonna show y'all. But I did make a fig jam, and I'm gonna share the link to this afterwards so that you can see it live. But what I'm doing here is every month I'm pulling data from what's called the Chrome User Experience Report, and this is web performance data from people on Chrome. And Google releases this data monthly. Actually, there's an API. It's not just monthly, but like a big data dump comes every month for the previous month. And it is real user performance data. So it's not like they ran Lighthouse. This is like the people that actually went to your website, what was the performance they got. So I combine this, these are links about Crux, and I combine this with HTTP Archive. So HTTP Archive is interesting. What it does instead is once a month, they do a single, like what we call a lab test. So they run web page tests on the whole web. And so you can get monthly data. So like if I go to, let's just go to the state of images, we can see that like how many kilobytes of images, and you can see like how many kilobytes of this and that. And you can see performance data, but it's from that single run, which is like an emulated environment. And it's not necessarily valid for all users. But this data is much more detailed. There's actually a whole lot more in here. One thing that happens on Shopify sites is that, so if I go to, let's go to Rothy's, they are a Shopify site. And if I go to the console, I need to move all the videos out of the way. All right. And if I go to Shopify, there's a global Shopify object on all Shopify sites. And this is now being pulled into HTTP Archive on every run. So if I just do that and I open this out, we can see that there's a property called theme, and I can get the, oh yeah, this is a custom theme. So this is not actually a theme that would be included in here. I should use some other site to do that. Actually, I wonder if, so I originally built this site. It's like the blog for web performance on Shopify. Actually, Dan is now working at Shopify and my old team. But so if I do shopify.theme, we can see that we originally used the Dawn theme, which is a free Shopify theme. And this is a really old version number. And then we started customizing it. So it's basically it's not auto updated anymore. These are things you probably don't care about Shopify themes, but this was the original. So we essentially forked it and just maintained it from there, and then used what we learned to apply improvements to Dawn, which was fun. But anyways, that's generally this data is in HTTP archive. So to be able to split the Chrome user experience report data, I actually need to join the Crux data and the HTTP archive data, because this is one run, but it gives me like whether someone's on Shopify or not. And then Crux is the actual data I want to see. If you don't know what I mean by the Chrome user experience report, like if I go, if I grab this and I go to like pagespeed.web.dev at the top of the page, I hope this one has enough data. It's this part that discover what your real users are experiencing. This comes from the Chrome user experience report. Also, if you're in Search Console, that data comes from the Chrome user experience report. So yeah, this is all Crux data. So what I do is I then, I don't have slides, but I'm using FigJam and hiding stuff. All right. So I use BigQuery because you can access, these are publicly available data sets. So I use BigQuery to join and query them. And then I'll show you the link to the repo. But the query I use is in here. I just change the dates every month. It is a kind of a big query. It's a big query that I put in BigQuery. Sorry, I have terrible jokes. And I export the results to JSON. I can open up BigQuery later if anyone's curious about how that all works. I'll stay a little later to answer questions too, because I know some folks are watching this because they're interested about the web performance or the data part, and then the rest of you maybe for the Eleventy part. So I export that file to JSON and I dump it in this raw data folder, and I don't know, you don't care, but this is kind of what the data looks like. And it's like a dump of all data for Prestige, and it's, by year and month. And then I have a node script that I use to munge that data and generate the SVG charts. So for all the themes, I'll have like summary data and then monthly data. Because I don't know if you notice on the website that I'm showing, when you go to the detailed page, I'm actually showing the last 6 months of data. So I actually read all the previous data files as well to get this process data so I can generate all the charts. And there are a lot of chart generators written in JavaScript, but this was the only one that I found. I mean, I didn't dig super deep. There's probably more of them that had a server-side rendering option, which is really important, right? Because I want it to be a static site. I don't want to have a server. I want it to be super fast to load. And my charts are simple enough that I can use SVG charts. So that link down there goes to this page where it talks about server-side rendering. And later on, I might actually do some front-end ones for some dynamic features I want to add to the site, but they actually can do either Canvas or SVG rendering. So it generates all of the charts in this node script, and it's all exported to this JSON file. So the SVG chart is just saved as a string in there. So it actually wasn't that many steps. It's like export to JSON, save it there, run my process script, and that saves another file. So that's the manual steps. And then I use Eleventy to do all the rest. So in Eleventy, I just, I run Eleventy, run the server, whatever. And the data is imported from these JSON files and saved into global data files. And I'll show you those too. So I have two global data properties. What do we want to call those? Like two pieces of global data. One is metadata, which has my aggregations and some other stuff, and then the data for each theme. And so to give you a general idea, this metadata is used for like the aggregations page. So too many tabs open. Oh wait, did I kill that tab already? No, it's on the first page. It's fine. So this page uses the metadata property, and then this page, like the all themes page, which is like a summary, and then the detailed pages, these are pulled from the themes global property. So if I just show you what those are. So here's my raw data and my process data. So those are outside my SRC. SRC is like, my Eleventy, like rendering the site stuff. But we can see I have two global data, metadata. Both of them, all they do is they read that process data file. And then metadata exports these specific things from there, and then themes exports the themes data from that same file, actually. And so now we have that global data. I create the aggregations page from there, and I create the all themes page. And I use pagination to create every theme page. So what does that look like? So aggregations is like your basic Eleventy page. I have some front matter, and then I just, for metric and metadata.aggregations.mobile, do this. And, there's some JavaScript stuff for switching the buttons for between desktop and mobile. And then for the all themes page, this is still like a basic, just a single Eleventy page, and I'm accessing the global data directly. So I do sort the themes, and but it's basically just, theme.name, theme.summary. I also have market share data in there. So, and then the harder part, of course, I don't know, at least for me, pagination is always hard because I always don't do it right the first time. So, so I use Eleventy pagination, single size to create a separate page for each theme. And yeah, theme.slug, Eleventy computed, for the title and description. And then yeah, all of the specific data for the theme. And that is the overview of it all. But because I am deep in this, I figured I'd give y'all more times for like questions and stuff if you want me to dive down in any particular aspect of this or answer any questions about it.